Hey all, Flame Duck 3 here, Alex, yada yada, you know the drill. Just was asked to do some Boltyn stuff, deck tech wise, so I guess I'll show you what I'll be playing for this Rosetta meta. Getting a lot of success. I have about an 80% win rate on this list right now on Talishar. That's not including just personal testing. And I think Boltyn's not the strongest hero in this meta, but he is very wet. Like, he's good enough. Like, he's good. If you like Boltyn, you can play him. I don't see why you wouldn't be. I believe that with any hero, though. But the thing with Boltyn lists, there's about base 60 cards, if we want to talk about it. About base 50 cards that you're just going to include. And then you have your sideboard pieces that are really good. So let's go through it. So Beam Rado, red, and yellow. Auto includes yellow. Some people don't like. I love them. Just a way to extend. Can just get the job done late game. Even when you're throwing three card nines, making people block when you have guaranteed go again. It's great. Wonderful. Red Bolt, gonna draw. I'm on 2 Steel Hand, not 3. I think Steel Hand. I like Steel Hand. I'm not like the biggest fan of Steel Hand though. I would prefer not to play it. But currently the meta is still blocking heavy. And unlike last meta where it was very aggro dependent, the blocking heavy meta, we need to make sure things hit. Steel Hand does that. I think 3 is too much. You brick too much on them. You really just want, I think 2 is that sweet spot I've been feeling. Golfing Light, another one that everyone plays. E-Strike. This is one of those sideboard pieces, not for sideboard, but pieces that people are very indifferent on. I think it's gotten stronger in this meta. You have time to set up with the armory equipment, especially throwing 5 draw a card off of E-Strike is great. 1 card 5s, can't complain. And if you have like an army equipment and 2 bannerets, you can go charge army equipment banneret, then you can go like Express Lightning into E-Strike, draw a card into Raiden, and then you have an arsenal, which is still, I mean, that's a 4 card 9 plus 1 or 2 value, and then like if you draw Illumina there, then it obviously shoots through the moon. But I like E-Strike a lot. Currently, Express Lightning is a charge card that I'm very contested on. It's really good for a 4-for-0. It's best Wounding Blow. Unfortunately, we don't have better cards than Wounding Blow, but here we are, so we have to play this. Eliminate, Staple, want to get life. LTW, half the meta right now doesn't want to block, so this is a pretty safe charge card option. Also, just still one of our better charge cards, so we want to play it. Courage, Gallantry, more bannerets that we'll need. Beacon, auto include with this Cataclysm main board card now with the armory equipment. Luma auto include, Saving Grace, like, oh my gosh, this card's the best direct in the game. Be playing it for most matchups, 95% of the time should be on this card. Spirit and V. Yeah, so this is the main board. And I would, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. I would say 95% of those cards are not changed. Go to sideboard. This is where things get a little interesting. So, I'm on Spirit Warp, specifically for aggro matchups. So, like KO, Azalea. Anytime I need to throw, when I have an opening, I need to use it. Spirit War comes in. So Azalea, Rhinar, any brute, just aggro matchups like that. We like Spirit War. Take Flight and Valiant Thrust. So I was playing without this combo for a bit. Come to real and it had snatches in over it. I think this pairing is just too strong, especially into the current meta coming up where people want to block. You're on hits. Really just the value proposition is, can you throw enough vanilla damage to clear auras through Enigma or get overblocks from any of the new Earth heroes? I think these really extend it. Take Flight also saves the soul for when you're on Tunic. Because Tunic Take Flight's not awful because you do +1 off of it because of the soul. Banner of Protection I think is mandatory for this meta. There's a lot of split damage going around. We don't pitch for split damage well. It allows us to play around Temptations into Viscerai a lot. So we really enjoy that. So I would recommend playing Protection. Salvation I'm at 2 of right now. Same reason as Protection. Salvation is just life gain. It's another way of preventing AB for us. I really like it. This card could change for Tenacity tomorrow. And it wouldn't really make a difference. But for the time being, it is Salvation. 3 Bolting Blades because for Tunic V combo. Luminal Lance, I love this card a lot. I think it's really, really strong when you're playing Cheerios, but unfortunately we can't play 3 right now because the meta is too damage checky. So we really need to, when we're playing Tunic, we just don't have enough soul, like, for a Cataclysm and this. So playing 2 doesn't really, we don't really play it in the matchups where we're playing Tunic just because we really, 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 really need to have the soul to, proc other big turns. This card's just another way to filter their soul that isn't Beacon or Cataclysm. And it's really, really strong, actually, currently. I really like it. I just think that it's only good into certain matchups. And Soul Shield for, obviously, big tanky matchups. Some people hate this card right now. I don't know why. The card's free soul. People just think we have too much soul. Like, why do we need to take a turn off to do soul nowadays? Because they're just decks where we just have to take turns off. And that's where this card comes in. And we just accept it. We'd rather get the soul while getting the blocking value. So it's big beneficial. Well, let's talk equipment. Playing Tunic. Tunic comes in for matchups where Soul Bond's bad. Not really the case, but I play Tunic probably 30 to 40% of the time. Soul Bond the other 60-70%. Matchups that I really need 2 V turns to break through, so very tempo-based decks where I'm trying to set massive turns to blow up my opponent. That's where Tunic comes in. Heal Elimination, literally only for Kano. Who knows if Kano's going to be good this meta? Probably don't even need to play it if you have no Kanos around you, just an FYI. Haj, Helm of Halo's Grace, wonderful card, very, very good. Into aggro matchups, not very good anywhere else. It's fine. The card's really, really good in the sense of Azalea or KO. I don't know why I keep saying Reiner. KO, Levia. Those decks, really, really good into. But Warband, as you can see, is also my board. Wonderful. It just smooths things out. We really, really like that. Iron Song over, I think it's, what is it? Because you have Hog, Wog, and Bog. I was testing Bog for the longest time, and I do enjoy Bog. If you are a new Boltyn player or a Boltyn player that really doesn't have the money to buy an Iron Song, totally understand, or you just have the armory deck, Bog, Bracers of Grace, I can't remember the word before it, but they're really good. They're a great counterpart, but Iron Song just gives you the filter needed for the deck when you're breaking on no charge cards turn 0. It's just, there's just a lot of things that you realize that you're overlooking with Iron Song versus that you just don't get out of Bog, and you rather just play Warpath. It's basically a second Warpath, and you only really need one half the time. So, Norrune, arcane damage, we play into Verdance, and Wizard, not really anywhere else. Not Wizard, Kano. Say Wizard, because Acilio, I don't even know if we play this card. Don't know about Acilio. This is a pure Ridden deck, so obviously we have Ridden. Snapdragon Scalers, very odd include, but we really need it still. We need it to make sure when matchups are going to be light on Soul, where we're playing Tunic and know that we're going to be light on Soul, like Warrior or Enigma. Gotta make sure we can go when we can go. Soul Bond Resolve, I love this card. This might be one of my favorite cards in the game. It is quite amazing. I think it gives you a lot of value proposition. It's really, really strong in this meta, specifically. Just blocking a lot of random on-hits through equipment is super important for you to keep tempo up. So, and find times to pivot. So I love Soul Bond. I do play it in a lot of matchups. That if I don't think Tunic's correct, Soul Bond is correct. And I play it basically if I think I don't need the over-the-top pressure or presence. Warband. Warbands have been in and out of lists for some Boltyn players. I always thought onboard charge is crazy, and I think it still is. This card is nuts. Charging is what Boltyn wants to do. If you whiff a charge card, this allows you to have a semblance of a turn. Last thing you need to do is get tempoed out late game and miss. And then you got Warpath of Winged Grace. This card's insane. This is exactly what we wanted out of Boltyn. Don't replace this card ever unless you need to play Snaps, but this card is wonderful, very versatile, pairs super well with Soul Bond, yada yada. So that's the list, that's the 80. Things could change in this by the time I have Battle in a week. The things could change, but this is the list I've been running and having success in. So today we're going to go over some gameplay, show you how the list functions. I think I have 3 games queued up on Talishar, and just walk through plays and how to play Boltyn, basically. People have been asking for that. Figured I would give them help. This isn't going to be a very professional video or anything, but figured there's with the armor deck coming out about a few months ago. This is the first meta people are actually going to be trying to play Boltyn in. That's not skirmish season. So I felt like showing people a few games on just Talishar competitive hue. So like not going to be sometimes not the highest quality player, sometimes the highest quality player. You never know what you're going to get. But either way, there's still real people playing the game of flesh and blood, and you just got to take it for what it is. Probably, I always assume early, like day one calling to like first 4 rounds battle hardened type players. So yeah, that's how you like a Talishar players in my opinion. But that's the list. So I will send it over to I think past Alex here who recorded the 3 Talishar games and show you how to play Boltyn. All right, so we have game 1 here. As you can see, we're going to go against Victor. So how you want to sideboard for this is like usually just tunic in. Get some blocking equipment like your boots, your headpiece. You want I prefer Warband. Gives you a little extra breathing room for like charging if you need to find a go off turn. Victor's an interesting matchup because I think we're favored. I don't think it's by a lot, but we are favored. And basically does he see his block cards when he needs to? So when we go off, does he have block cards? Or when we're taking turns off, does he have the block cards and his turns are just weaker? Or really the give and take here and just realizing when to push and when not to push is a big thing. Playing just for pure value can kind of put you behind sometimes against Victor. So it's kind of important to maybe play a little bit slower, but we'll see that in this matchup. So, yeah, you're going to see me sideboard here, and you're going to see me go Warband, Boots. I'm going to add also Shields. You're going to see me add Take Flights, Valiant Thrust, Bolting Blades. And this is on 2 times speed because I just didn't want the match to take too long because we'll just pause and talk through it. And this is like, they're thinking through it. But basically just things like allow you to go wide. You're gonna see me like I'm just adding things because right now it's fine. You want to overboard a little bit because you can get fatigued out of this matchup sometimes if they draw correctly. So if we go back 10 seconds, you saw me add Take Flights, Valiant Thrusts, and then I added Salvations, and I don't play Spirit of War. Spirit of War is not great in this matchup. A lot of non-attacking things, a lot of things that just he wants to block you out a lot anyways, so just not playing it. So as we get into the match here, and we're going to draw up our hand, and this is an interesting hand one, because so you have a lot of options when you draw Beacon turn 0. It's like, do you grab Spirit? Do you not grab Spirit? This is the matchup that I feel like I always grab Spirit because you never know how defensive they are. I guess we can look at the board state right now and see that he's running Royal Victor. So Royal Victor means they're just going to try to out-tempo you, out-aggro you as fast as possible with the gold token and visiting Daddy's home, things like that. So usually you see this hand, it's Lumina Beacon, Lumina Lance, Beam Bravado. Pretty simple. We're just going to charge a card and go grab Spirit for next turn. Hopefully we can use the Boots just to toss Spirit into Soul, get some value there, get a quick token, so we can go like I'm okay back-to-back turns here. I believe that's exactly what I do here. So yeah, you're going to see me throw the Beaming, charge there. +1 because it's yellow. Pretty self-explanatory. And he's going to block 6 if I recall correctly, which is smart on his part. Grab the Spirit, and we're going to Arsenal Luma pass. So our hand actually looking pretty good here. He's going to go Belting. We're like, okay, that's vanilla damage. That's the big thing that you want to realize in a lot of things. We don't really want to give up cards in a lot of matchups to vanilla damage. This is 5 go again. So my thoughts right now, 5 go again. My hand's not too bad. I probably want to block with the Cataclysm in hand. I could possibly Arsenal it later. I can't remember exactly what I do here, but just to save 3 life, because we're at 0 in Soul right now. The Arsenal Cataclysm is not bad considering we have Boots, and we're going to get the go again off of charging with Warpath here anyways, because we're going to throw Warpath in front of the next attack, charge Spirit, and then we're going to Bolt the Courage, go again, into Lumina, which is strong enough. That like I know that's like mid-rangey, and we wanted to turn usually be bigger with Lumina, but that's probably strong enough. So as we're seeing here, we saw a pitch of Buckling below, so it's a Zealous. It's probably Zealous in the Hammer. That's usually the case. you're going to see me pass pretty quick here. And it's into E-Strike draw. So that's fine. We're just going to, like I said, throw boots in front, charge, spirit, call it a day. So with that in mind, so we decided not to charge block Cataclysm. I think blocking Cataclysm there is fine. I think my thought process during this game might have been, well, if I'm trying to get like bigger value turns against Victor, then this allows me to get one in soul. The Lumina is going to generate an action point. Maybe I can sneak in another soul through just hitting Luminas. And then we'll be at 2 in soul with the Cataclysm Arsenal, which is not bad to have Cataclysm in Arsenal. Cataclysm used to be like a off card to Arsenal. And nowadays it's actually pretty fine, even just because of the boots. And Spirit's like really good in that respect. So he's taking a while thinking here. But our turn's pretty done. But since we're not getting like... So there's no block card. It's just our E-Strike. So we're going to draw. We drew Illuminate, so this is even better. Like, this is even more ideal. So you see me hovering in the Lumina. I'm just going to slam it here. Hit 2. Anything but an E-Strike off the top. Okay, Beaming Bravado. Great. So, anything but an E-Strike off the top and another Beaming Bravado. So not like the 2 greatest hits, but we'll take it. So we're going to have 2 in soul. We get some equipment block there. And call it a day. So he's just going to hammer us. And he overpitched for it. So he doesn't have Tunic up, so this is just 4, and we have an actually really solid hand here. He's going to be Take Flight into Thrust. It's like a 4-card 14, way above right. Like, you can't really ask for more than this. So we're just gonna eat this. Like, there's no reason to block this. It's all vanilla damage, and you're just like, this is very hand plays itself out. Just gonna charge, throw 3, come back. Like it's 14 big ones. So it was interesting that he overpitched there. And again, I don't know if I like this aggressive of Victor, like Royal Victor. It's a cool deck, but I'm not sure if it's like the greatest deck out there. So because it just doesn't have great blocking value. It might be worse into Boltyn than normal Victor is, but who knows? So we still have 2 in soul. We're just chilling at the 3. The reason why we didn't throw Cataclysm after the take flight is that then we're wasting a Radiant String. Then that means it makes the Cataclysm only a 0 for 4, and we lose all our soul. So our hand's pretty fucking shit here, and this is something that I'm like hovering with my mouse, as you're gonna be able to see. There is indeed a pummel in Arsenal. It's pretty obvious. Tunic on 3. He saved his whole hand. So you're gonna see me evaluate this very oddly. So you have 2 options. One, when you see CNC and pummel, you say no blocks if you have a good enough turn. This hands, if we were to, like, it's probably discard a Beating Bravado, go Beating Bravado, swing Raiden, Arsenal, light the way. Not the greatest. Not ideal. Not really what you want to be doing. So the other option is to give 12, which is your whole hand, and just say, cool, you have pummel and Arsenal. I don't care. I decide here, I'm looking at the life totals, it's 30 to 23, my hand's not the greatest, and I really don't want to give him full tempo back, and maybe this is the incorrect play, but I think it's fine to just take the 10 and throw 7, just because it's fine. You're not, like, it's not upsetting at all, but, so I think that's what I do here. That's usually your 2 options when you're faced with CNC pummel. You really don't have much of an option. I'm going to think here for a minute what exactly I want to do here. And yeah, I'm going to pass. And yep, there's the pummel. So we get pummeled. I should be discarding a Beaming Bravado, yeah. And yeah, just charge here, give go again. 2 card 7. Can't really complain. We love 2 card 7s. We love them. It's a 2 card 8 now, because he blocked with the attack action. Wonderful. So we're seeing some power of the Boltyn ability there. So, oh, this is huge. Gets spinaled. And I clicked that real quick. So I see that I have a V in hand. I have Tunic on 3. I know my Arsenal is just light the way. That's triple Banneret. Right. So some people might be like, oh, why didn't I keep the Banneret at Gallantry? Well, if the light the way hits, I have go again. And I gain the life. But having go again for next turn isn't necessarily the greatest. Like, I want him to block the light the way. I don't really care too much about the go again for next turn because I have a V turn. I have enough in soul. And getting that extra life might make the difference of, like, getting Golden Sunned out of the game or whatever. So just blocking 6, taking 3 here means I can throw a 2 card 7 again if light the way hits, because it's actually more. It's like a 2 card 8 because we're getting 1 in soul. So it's like Light the Way hitting gets go again without having to use soul, plus the 1 life off of salvation. So that's just a 2-card 8, which we love. We love 2-card 8s. We love 2-card 7s. Again, not the greatest thing to be doing against Victor. We're okay with doing it here. He hasn't seen any block cards yet, so no trounces, no nothing. So we could get absolutely punished in that respect too. But if the Light the Way hits, then we're actually losing all our value off the go again. So we really just are playing around that fact that we know this is the more aggressive variant. Maybe he just won't see his block cards. He only has 6 of them. He hasn't seen one yet, so I guess we'll find out if he sees it. So that's why we're blocking with the gallantries instead of the salvation. So we're going to keep going. And we got 3 go again on hit. And he is taking a while to think, so I'm assuming no block cards, which is great. Wonderful. And we're looking at my graveyard there. Don't know what I was thinking about. But he just blocks with attack action. So basically we gained a soul, gained a life, and we're throwing 2-card 8. He blocked with the Golden Sun, which is very odd. And yeah. Okay, so I don't know where this hand was, but it was Golden Sun, E-Strike, Blue Pitch. So not the greatest hand. I guess he was thinking about just throwing the Golden Sun. I'm not entirely sure. But now we have the nuts. Like this game is, we have 3 in soul. We get the V, charge, take flight probably, and then we get to go to town. We get to go off, like, so this is wonderful setup on our part, saving some life, because whatever he threw at us there, we were fine with, because we still had 4 block on equipment. So yeah, we're just gonna charge 1. So E-Strike here is the awkward part, is like E-Strike draw is still good. So they're gonna give us go again. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So if you're playing against Boltyn, not playing as, but playing against Boltyn, on V turns, never block the V. Like Wiry, it's 4 vanilla damage, 4 to 5 vanilla damage. Usually on V turns, I have more important on hits. Like, it's just wrong. So this literally says I gain go again off the steps, right? Like, this is really bad blocks. Really, really awful blocks. We really don't want the player, as the opposing player, you don't want to be doing that against Boltyn. Like, this isn't worth it. Like, giving 5 block here, like when I have a full grip, it's just not worth it. So just so people know, like, I don't think that's correct. So we're gonna talk draw, and where you draw into Boltyn Blade, which would have been nuts if we charged twice, but we only charged once. So this is where E-Strike gets a little awkward. It's kind of sad. So he's gonna block this too. I don't agree with that because we still have two cards in grip, and now we get to punish him extremely with the Lumina. Take 5, gain 1. And he doesn't block this out for some reason, and just full of questions. Now our hand looks fucking awful. He really wanted to throw that Titan's Fist. It's like he just blocked out the Lumina. Been fine. But I'm going to give 2 here. I think I was thinking about doing a sneaky charge play here, but there's like no reason to. So I instead actually just give 7. There's the first test of strength on turn 7. So we got a little lucky there. A little lucky there. So we get the block there. Give go again. Throw 7 more. We have so much in soul now. Like, this is, we're big chilling. So we still have the Boltyn Blade in our, and he's giving equipment because he's at 4. He has to block these. Out muscle, unfortunate. So he's gonna go to 2. I guess, so he has the might up. I'm like, did he win a trounce or something? He must have. So I block 2 here. I have the game 1 in hand. Like, so this game is pretty much over. So that's how you play some more mid-rangey value there against Victor. Usually you can get punished extremely hard. So he trounces and he rerolls it. He wins it. I just 3 go again. And what you should do here, I'd actually play this wrong. I give 2 with the beacon. But since I have Spirit on board, it should have just been give 1. Because I have the Lance in hand. And then I have a bunch of different options from there. But that is that game. We will hop into the next one against, I believe, is a new or Enigma. I'm not 100% sure. All right, so we got game 2. We're going against Enigma, life and life only, apparently. I don't know exactly what that's, like, usernames requiring, but Enigma is probably Boltyn's worst matchup this meta. I don't think it's close. Boltyn's pretty bad. Yeah, we lost the die roll too, so they get to go first. You really, really want to go first in this matchup, just so you can hit the tunic counters and try to accumulate pressure. we're playing snaps in this matchup just to make sure these were going to be so light on soul early game. We don't really get to fill it up. We can't let them set up a board state. Yada yada. So Boltyn, like I would say, an MST meta was fine into Enigma because they had to play a lot more attack actions. Now they can play a lot more D-reacts and stall the game out and not give us like the buffs and make things awkward for them to block. It's just not the case anymore. And then if they see Mirror Guy, you usually pretty rough. This game is very interesting though, if I remember correctly. This is like a wild one. So yeah, you're just gonna go Tunic, Warband, Iron Song, Snaps, take out all your D-reacts, put in your V aggro package with be as aggressive as possible. You see, we take out the Saving Graces, add literally everything. And I'm only going to play, I should go to 2 Lances. Yeah, here we go. It's a 2 Spirit War, 2 Lances, because you want the +2 off of that. So turn 0, they're going first. And I guess we're just going to see what they throw. Our hands actually would have been a sick-ass turn 1 and they played a Warmong. Interesting choice to play turn 0, and then you see why. They didn't really have anything else to do. So they're going to create a Spectral Shield. So we're going to pick War. Boltyn doesn't really care too much about War or Peace. So we're going to charge. This is a 14 card 4, the bread and butter. We love 14 card 4s. Allows us to keep pressure on and really see what they're up to. So 3, give go again. So the unfortunate about this is that we're going to be so low on soul right now that... What? They gave Traverse? Okay, yeah. I was shocked when they did this in the game. I was actually dumbfounded. Because they're going to give up the Spectral Shield, right, and Traverse here, and Coalescence and yada yada. So when I see the Traverse, I'm thinking about just, like, letting, like, Arsenal, but I decide not to, because I know a Mirror Guy's coming, but I really need to clear this Coalition. I can't let this Coalition sit on the board. I need to put the pressure on to make sure that these auras just keep getting cleared. So they have a Mirror Guy in hand. There's like no shot they don't, and this is like the worst hand we could draw. So yeah, this is going horrendously. So they drop Mirror Guy turn 2. They swing, and my hand is ass. Like, this is quite honestly one of the worst hands you could possibly draw. So you have a few options here. When it comes to, so we're gonna eat the 8 here, and we'll talk about it on my turn. We can't really block. Yeah, I think I might give 4 block here because there's not really too many relevant on hits in Enigma, and the bigger attacks I need to save life for, so I'm not just like hemorrhaging too much. So they just Arsenal pass, so no idea what's in Arsenal here. But as you can see, I'm not throw the E-Strike. But you have a few options. You can go like V charge, like pitch E-Strike, charge Lumina, and try to throw 8. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think it's really bad. So, and then you can't really do anything with these Luminous. So you're kind of like, yeah, that's your 2 options. It's like, you can have the 8 or throw E-Strike for 7 or Tunics on 2. So we get to have a V turn next turn. And we're probably just going to take 8 to the face plus whatever they throw at us. And having them, okay, so one thing I realized playing against Enigma is that letting them keep 1 aura on the board while you're pressuring is great because they're really trying to use Rage Scepter. The one thing I would be worried about here is 10,000 Year Reunion, because that's getting played a lot more now. So, like, it's fine. This is still technically hits a break point, but they play so many D-Rex, it's just going to get 2 cards. Unless they bricked, and that's what we're hoping for. So we're going to say buff, Arsenal to V, and we're crying right now. If you're at a tournament, you are crying, because this is where you're probably like, oh, I just lost the game. Which, I hate this thing. I hate Enigma for this reason. Like, why is it turn 2, and I feel like I've already lost? Like, this is, like, almost on... Like, this is ridiculous. That shouldn't be the case. So I draw the 3rd Lumina, which is, like, awful. And they Fantastic Plasm one of them away. So now... Okay, so they changed their play. They're going to Tunic 8. That's right. I remember this. So... Tunic for 8, and then they can Fantastic Plasm Lumina. We're gonna block 3, and we're just gonna go on a V turn, on a single Lumina turn here. So the reason why we block 3 is to save life, and we're gonna have 1 soul, so we can't guarantee that we're gonna swing the Illuminate, right? So soul management's a big thing in Boltyn, and we gotta pay attention to everything that's going on. So we have 0 in soul. we're just gonna block. So we have to get the value out of that card. We have to. Boltyn's a very knick-knack deck where we're gonna get value, we're gonna lose value, right? We can't just guarantee that we're gonna like. We have to guarantee the value when we get it. So blocking 3 there is just correct. And throwing the Beaming Bravado here. The other thing you could have done is gone off on your V turn, but the V turn hand was bad. We've been losing 2 power cards. So we really just want to use the 1 power card here, break snaps, and just try to chain small hand into small hand here. So I'm looking at the grid to see how many D-Rex they have, and they have both Sync and Fade. So I'm guessing they probably have every D-React under the sea. So if this Lumina hits, I would be shocked. But we're going to crack snaps here just so we can keep up the pressure. So block with the second Warmongs. Neato. And we're going to play the Lumina. So we're going to play the Lumina. Swing 4. And we're just waiting for them to decide. And there's the third Warmongs. That's pretty funny. And they're giving Tunic here. So I'm very curious on why we're going to block 3 give Tunic. Like, if you're losing the Mirror Guy, I guess they want to keep it on board, but now they have to give me both cards in hand, right? Like, there's nothing else. Like, I guess it's Warmong. I don't know what the other 2 are, but unless you have a D-React here, your Mirror Guy is, like, not swinging next turn, and you lost your Tunic. I think this is, like, a game-losing play for them, almost. Like, this is awful. Tunic value is so strong in Enigma that you really want to keep that around. I mean, I think blocking the Raiden Lumina here is correct. Like, 110% correct. I don't think, I get they have to block the Beaming Bravado to prevent the Mirror Guy from going, so I get that's why they did it there. But blocking with Tunic, I don't think is worth it. Maybe you just have to cut your losses here if you're the Enigma player. Not sure. But either way, I was pretty happy with the Tunic and Eden there, and I'm going to throw 4 more. So we're going to see if they want to give up the Mirror Guy or not. And their hand was awful. That's why. Their hand was absolute trash. So they can't even swing the Mirror Guy. And okay, so let's talk about this hand here. Alright, we have 0 in Soul. Great. We're going on a V turn. Wonderful. Pretty exciting. Until you realize that we draw a Spirit. So Spirit's a wonderful fucking card, and it'll come up later. I'm pretty sure that, like, it's so strong. But when you draw on your V turns, and you're low on Soul, it means you can't go as wide. So you got to decide how much you're going to charge, obviously. We're going to charge 3 here because we need to be able to go as wide as possible. Otherwise, you're going to hold on to a card, and you really don't want to do that on a V-turn. No matter what, it's like it's still 3 value from each card. So, like, if I triple charge, it makes each card 3 value if I go 3 attacks wide. So, like, if I double charge, that's why you usually like double charging. Is if you have 4 attacks, that's 4 value from each card, right? 4 for 0, 4 for 0. Like, you're adding 8 extra value from your Soul. And if you charge 1 and you go 5 attacks 5, that's basically making your one card a 5, in a way, and hitting breakpoints. So that's how, like, V's, like, value really works. Hopefully I explained that fine. But we need the Soul right now. We're behind in this game a lot. We're down 14 life. We really, 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 really need to try to swing our way back in. This V-turn is not going to be the greatest. It's going to be, 6, 12, 19 damage, but that's awkward enough to where they don't have equipment block. That these breakpoints are just going to be too awkward to where we're going to at least clear the Mirror Guy. But I wouldn't be shocked to see them just eating it here. I can't remember exactly what happens. But they can't protect this Mirror Guy anymore. And they're going to try to protect the Mirror Guy. I don't know why. And they showed us 2 blue attack actions. So, like, this... Okay, there goes the Mirror Guy. Like, so... Very interesting decision on... their deck list. Doesn't seem to be the cleanest, maybe. I'm not sure. But, yeah, we're going to take 1 there, and then we're going to throw 6 more. No, 7 more, my bad. And that goes in the Soul down, so now we're starting to accumulate Soul. And goodbye, Beacon. We literally... That's the 3rd Phantasmaclasm, which is fine. But... Yeah, we gotta save some health. That hand's awful. We have no go again, so we're just gonna block 9. Pretty easy. Arsenal the Express Lightning. So you're wondering why I blocked with the Spirits over the Express Lightning. I like Spirit War a lot, but Express Lightning is a 0 for 4. It's a break point in this matchup. They have to have a D-React, or they can't do anything, or they have to block 2 cards to protect auras. And basically, we're just going to set up another Tunic trigger. We have 2 Luminous in deck, 1 V left in deck. We have 2 Beacons left in deck that is not at the bottom. So there's a lot of outs we have. So that's why I decided to save 9 life there. It's because we just didn't have the go again. We could have like Warband and gone wide, but like it's just not worth it. It loses a lot of value if we're going to eat damage, not be able to threaten much back. So that's why I went with that, and we drew the Beacon. We actually have a really cool turn here if we want to take it. This is very... So Coalescence... So this is wild, by the way. Just raw playing Coalescence and swinging for 2 is insane. So there's a hold the line. So, like, yeah, I think we're going to Omega, and they're going to uphold to give it go again. Okay, so that's still 3. It's still not the greatest, and they're going to Warmong us. Okay, so this hand's interesting. So we know for a fact that, what's it called? We cannot play Lumina this turn, but our Tunic counters on 2, right? But we also have a very good turn of 4, 7, 14, 18. We have an 18 damage turn if we really, really want it. That's if we want it. Or, per se, we could go, like, we could charge... And, like, it's... So we could go charge the Steel Hand, throw Thrust, or grab a V to Arsenal instead of for another turn. Because they really don't have a board state right now. And Steel Hand's really good in this matchup, but we really want to use every card in our hand efficiently. This hand's, like, kind of awkward for doing that. So if we use the Steel Hand, we can't ever use every card in our hand unless because we're under war. If we had a Lumina, we would probably use the Steel Hand, pitch for Thrust. Like, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of options. So but it's awkward. It's awkwardly strong. It's a very strong hand. So I think what I decided to do is talk about the play I just did, where I go Express Lightning. I'm going to charge the Steel Hand or take flight. It doesn't matter which one you charge because you're just going to pitch it for Thrust. And then you're going to throw 14. It's a 4-card 14 again, or 15 because you're going to Beacon over the Express to give go again. I'd probably go take flight because I don't have enough in soul. I have 1 in soul. See, that's why you need soul evaluation. So I probably will charge the Valiant Thrust, go grab V, and then I get to go take flight into Raiden, which is still a 4-card, 5, 9, 12, 4-card 12, which isn't amazing, but it sets up for a V turn. And it puts pressure on, so we can try to clear this Restless and just keep clearing the wards as we go. So... Very awkward, very strong, though. Like, this is still strong setup. Very good. And you can see me here thinking for a while. Because again, 2 times speed. I don't know exactly, like, it looks good. And there's a lot of options. So, I choose to charge the Steel Hand. It's probably charged the Thrust. I probably want to just keep the Thrust later for me a potentially power turn. But yeah, now they're waiting. I wouldn't be shocked to get D-React here. No, they're going to go Blue Vengeful. Yeah, I don't think this is the most tuned Enigma deck. But either way, doesn't matter. You got to play who you play against. And you're going to grab V here. Go again. And we're going to see the Coalescence pop. And now we go take flight 4. Make it awkward. They obviously don't have the D-React in hand. So we're just going to kind of look. I know, like... I didn't think Vengeful was getting played. I know that the 0 for 3 blue, like the body ancestry, and there's another Phantasmaclasm. What an awful time now. We had the popper, it's gone. But then we drew the nuts. We drew the absolute nuts. We have the Boltyn Blade. This is why we kept the 9 life from earlier. Otherwise, we would actually be in danger if we tried to go off on that turn. So now we get to go to 10, very, very comfortably. And throw a massive, this is a massive reason. We have the Banner of Gallantry. We can throw and draw a card. Like, this is so much value right here that we really, really like to see it. So, yeah, we're just going to take 9. It's the easiest 9 of our life. So, Tunic up, click that V. Very easy turn to play out. And let's go. We're gonna go to town. There's an army with a pop there because you get sick, but we need offensive pressure. I know because they don't have a board right now, so they can't just hold on the cards and try to throw things back at us. So 5 draw, and this is where, as you can see, we drew Lumina. They didn't block this, so one of 2 things is happening. 1, they don't have a blue. They have their hands full of just Transcend cards, right? And so we get to go off of this turn. They lose, but you would think they would have Transcended, pitched. I mean, it's only a block 4, so maybe they have like one Transcend card here, like an attack action, so can't really block it. Us drawing Lumina here basically just says we win the game. Like we won the game on the spot because of it. So I don't know why they didn't block it, but again, if you're going against, like again, this is where they blocked V, and you shouldn't be blocking V. Just take the damage. It's never worth blocking V. Because then you can block out this Bolt here. This is relevant. I don't get to do a Lumina turn, etc., etc. Like, just things that you should be doing to block properly against Boltyn. People aren't really aware of. But, I mean, we would have been in a very comfortable spot here anyways, I feel, even if it didn't hit. But we'll get on that Lumina turn because, like, what, our hand would have been Lumina, Cataclysm, Yellow, Beaming Bravado. Oh, no, Bolting Blade. Maybe it wouldn't have been. Let's see if we would have had a charge card. What's the top card of our deck? And then coming in for 9 here. Oh, I guess don't really know the top card because, like, this is it. That's the game. Oh, they have the hold line. No, they have the hold line. So they could have blocked the Bolt. I don't know why they didn't. Like, just gotta block it. So we would have had no charge card, but we had a Warband up, and this is why we kept the Warband up earlier, so we can keep the pressure on when we're in this situation. And if I remember correctly, they don't even let me play out this turn. This hand's awful. This is a dreadful hand, by the way. But it's probably war. Yeah, they draw and they concede. So I think I look at my deck, what's left. So I would have drew a steel hand, and I would have been able to go charge, get the quick in. I probably would have went. Do I want the courage? I guess it just depends on what's on top of the deck. Because if I can go like wider with the Illuminate, because I only have 2 in soul, so that's probably get the courage, pitch, get the courage, and then either way it's 3/4/4, which is like not crazy, but it's enough. And they have 3 red Enigma Chimeras. So this is where we learned this Enigma deck was whack as shit, by the way, because we're gonna look very soon at what's the special card in their arsenal was that's been sitting there, and it's a pummel. They just have a pummel in their arsenal. So yeah, very different Enigma deck, but like probably not the greatest. But it still shows you how we can play to clear auras and try to get there. It's not a great matchup. And we have one more game here, and we will then be closing it out. So alright, we have the classic new matchup. This one, I feel like, is super favored. Boltyn favored. When I say super favored, like 60-40 maybe. I don't know. We don't have a lot of super favored matchups. This is one of them. Like, we like to see new. We want to see it. Like, we want to get sent out. So, pretty simple setup. You can go Warband. You can go Hog if you want to. Hog is fine. I like Warband just because it blocks 3. Like, it can block 3 blue Mistblades. Call it a day. I play Soulbond in this matchup just to get more defensive value, play the legs, and then obviously Iron Song. So we'll get that all set up here. And for sideboarding, I usually I overboard a little bit. I don't like the Valiant Thrust in this matchup. You just never really get to play 4-card hands. So we really want to focus on Cheerios. I'm bringing in the Take Flights just to give more oomph, like more deck strength, because you can get fatigued in this matchup if they're on like more contract cards, not as many. Like if they're on Eradicate, not common, but there are some that are. You can just get absolutely ass blastedly fatigued. It's kind of crazy. So we got to overboard a little bit, not too much because we still want to see our power density. Maybe I don't. Maybe I play the pure 60 here. Okay, we play the pure 60. That's fine. So we are going second. And we actually have a really good turn 0 hand. We have Saving Grace. Just now charge a Banneret. Call it a day if they throw anything at us. And they're going to bite us. And they stopped. So they throw the Wickedest Link. So we just give the light the way. Which this is actually a misplay. I'll just be front for it. This is a misplay. We got to keep the charge card in hand. You need to hold on to charge cards when you have them. Because you don't want to miss on charging. This is a complete misplay on my part. Be very frank with you. Illuminate's I love Illuminate. It's a heart. But you should be blocking with here. Like, Illuminate's probably like one of my favorite cards in the deck, so that's probably why I held on to it. But this is a massive, massive, massive misplay. And I can't express that enough because some people be like, oh, Alex, this isn't like as big of a misplay as you're saying it is. Like, it can't be that big. Well, let's say next turn, if I don't draw a charge card, I'm behind. I'm very, 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 very far behind now. And Light the Weight's actually pretty good in this matchup. So like, it's not too bad because they have to have a direct to actually block it, especially since we have the Courage token on board. Free soul, free go again. Like, wonderful. But either way, throwing a Weakest Link at me, I guess we play Spirit, but I don't know why people are playing Weakest Link into Boltyn. I think it's just wrong. Again, who knows what the skill level of this player. This is still Talishar. But either way, getting launched a Weakest Link at me. So we'll just pass turn, and we draw up. So we got lucky. If we kept the light the way, it's actually this hand section not great because we can't really charge with the light the way. But either way, it's just going to throw Take Flight, Charge, Store Raid, and throw Eliminate. So one big thing that you want to do into new is that any assassin, really, you want to keep tempo. So you want to out-tempo them. Like setting up turns is fine, but it's not something that you really, 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 really desire to do. If you have to do it, do it. But know that, like, you can just get absolutely punished for setting up a turn. Like, arsenaling cards isn't really something that we want to do a lot, do consistently. We really just want to play from her hand. New is, like, kind of weird because she has more hand hate than arsenal hate in a lot of ways. So it depends on what half of the deck she's seeing. But either way, we're going to just throw Take Flight, Charge, pitching, probably Bravado, yeah. Coming in for 5, 3, 4. That's a 4 card 8. 1 on hit, so 4 card 13 if the eliminate hits, which is above rate. We love to see it. And here we go. And it does. So we did 7 damage, got that, and they throw Eradicate pretty quickly. So this is where things get like a little questionable. I'm like, okay, Eradicate. They pitched to blue. I was like, okay, Venomous Bite. I'm gonna block 4 here. Right, I'm pretty sure I decided to block 4 because I was like, how many cards can I lose from deck? I said reasonably 8, not 8, 4. Reasonably 4. Like, if they Venomous Bite me, Arsenal card, cool, whatever. I lose 4 cards, they get 4 silver probably, we move on. We have a Lumina hand. I really don't want to block, right? We have actually a really, really, really good turn here. So it's like, I really don't want to block from hand. So I'm not going to give 6 equipment block to this. Because, like, if they have double pump, then we're going to get absolutely blown out either way. Like, 1 pump's not the end of the world, but double pump hurts a lot. So, that's why you got to, like, evaluate your hand. Because a lot of times you kind of just want to turn your hand sideways in front of Eradicate. These cards, like, the cards you're going to be missing is a lot. Again, not common in new. Don't know why they're on it. They just wanted to play this card, I guess. I mean, this card's pretty cool. Neat card, but, yeah, don't know why. So, as we go in, I'm gonna block 4 pretty quick, and there's the 1 bite, okay, and 2 bites. So we are losing 8 cards, and boy howdy did we lose good ones. We lost 1 Lumina, so we're gonna have 1 Lumina left in deck after this turn. We lost Spirit, which is a big backbone in this matchup, and then 1 Beacon. The Beacon's whatever. We don't have really heavy soul right now, but either way, lots of cards missed, go cards missed. So, cool. Fun. But we get to go do a Lumina turn now. We have to do our 4 card, 4, 8, 6, with 3 hunting. 4 card 19, if I did them at 4, 8, 12, 15, plus 1, 16, plus 2, 18. 4 card 18 if we hit. We didn't hit, but we get the whole land. So, that's very odd of a new to do, by the way, is just block out. I don't, like, again, Lumina turns, should always block them, but very, 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 very odd. So I'm like kind of confused by that, but maybe their hand was like okay, it wasn't anything crazy. So now it's back to us, so just toss back. So we got a weird, awkward hand. We drew the Lumina, we drew a V, but there's no charge card to go with the Lumina. V is very weird to use when you have 4 cards. You really like to use it on 5 card hands. When you're not on Tunic. And so it's kind of weird here. So I think I decide to go Iron Song, pitching Grace, or Cataclysm. Either one works. It depends on offensive. Maybe I should have pitched Cataclysm here if I pitch. And then go V charge and just come in for 4 and 4. It's not the greatest, but it'll do the job. We unfortunately have to. Yeah, we should have probably just pitched the Cataclysm. If they want to block out the Raid and Swing with a Courage, not really. So I was playing the Armory Kit Arms. I think that's Bog, Bracers of Grace, for a while. Boy howdy, Iron Song versus feels really good when you're on Soul Bond too. It's kind of insane because it gives you more pitch outlet for your like take flight turns, for your V turns. It just gives you that one extra buff. If they want to block the sword, cool. If they don't, you get a starter for next turn no matter what. Pretty exciting. So I'm gonna Arsenal here and pass, and we're gonna see what they're gonna do. They're gonna do pitch for silver. So they had one transcend card, which transcending is good against Boltyn, but like it's not amazing because Night Airs isn't something like crazy. It's just fine. So they're gonna undo the tunic here again, and they're gonna go looking for a scrapped Siren's Call, which again you shouldn't be keeping into Boltyn. Person probably doesn't really play against Boltyn, so I'm getting a benefit there. That's one benefit you're gonna get from playing to people that don't really know how to play into certain decks, is that they're gonna sideboard wrong. We don't play blues. I don't know what to tell you. So 5 go again. It's vanilla damage. Always take vanilla damage. It's fine. They're gonna pass over into Path Well Traveled, so their hand was just awful. We're going to banish. Honestly, we should be banishing the V here, as weird as it sounds. I know that's odd, but we have 2 in soul. Let's do some soul evaluation like we've been doing this whole time. We got 2 in soul. We got a Beam Bravado, Gallantry, so we can get, if the first Lumina hits and we hit off the top, this turn becomes a 3, 4, 7, 1, 2, my bad. 3, 7, 11, 1, 2, 13, 20 value turn. 20 value on a 4-card hand. This is what we live and breathe for in Boltyn. We love 4-card 20s in any deck. So we'll see what happens here. I should be, it's the easiest banish in my life. And they'll transcend and they'll pass turn. Or they're probably going to swing dagger because they really don't want that. But that's totally fine. So, yep, charge. And we had the Courage Token from last turn, so it's actually going to be a 4-card 21. Don't block this. I don't know why people are blocking the vanilla damage, but just learn. Like, this is an important thing for Boltyn too, not just for people playing against Boltyn. Don't block vanilla damage. Like, unless you have to. Vanilla damage is the last thing you need to worry about. There's so many relevant on-hits nowadays in the game. You just really can ignore a lot of it, unless it's like Runeblade nowadays has temptations, so if you can't really, like, always think about temptations when you're trying to hold onto a hand, like, there's a way to do it. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't block here. And now it's 4 go again on hit, gain a life. We whiffed. So we whiffed. That means we get the Arsenal. Yay! Unfortunately, we only get a 3-card 13 instead, which is still pretty good. I would say. I wouldn't say bad. And we hit the second to last beacon in our deck. So just unfortunate banishes. We're gonna let this hit. They pitched the Codex, so they had double Codex in hand. It's pretty obvious. Always pay attention to your opponent's pitch too when you're on Boltyn, so you know what you're going to be blocking and playing around. When you see Codex pitched, you're probably going to be playing a Codex. So what are we doing? Are we going to protect our arsenal? Are we not going to protect our arsenal? Really depends on what they have, but I think they go for Eradicate, which is wild to me because we still have 30 cards in deck, and it's not like they really buff it. And I think I get equipment here still, just because it's like not worth it. I think I charge off my feet because I think I can go. If I charge off my feet, the Soul Shield, I can just go charge it's 4, 7, 14, 17 card 4, which is still really good. Like, that's above 4 rate per card. Oh, wait, there's a frailty, so my bad. -2, 15. So 4-card 15 is still, like, fine. But they're blocking everything again. So I decided to keep the Cataclysm just because of frailty, which is fine. We're going to take the 1 here from the bite. And now I got to decide if I want to keep the Cataclysm. They have 1 floating. Unfortunately, we should have tossed the Cataclysm last turn, but that's okay. That is a-okay. Not the end of the world. So I guess we're gonna have to let it go. They're gonna hiss, whisper, just so they can try to get a refund on the whispers, and here we go. So one thing that you're gonna see here in a minute is that I'm gonna play out this turn. The reason why I play Engulfing Light first is because I want the on hit. Express Lightning doesn't really guarantee anything. I have to beacon it to give it a go again. So I'm gonna go Engulfing Light. Beacon for X equals 3. Realize I don't have any Luminas. B is 3 is the proper value there if you are just grabbing Lumina, because you're going to get enough soul to guarantee your go again through their whole hand. So I asked for an undo because I realized, oh shit, I don't have Luminas. Make sure to check your graveyards in an actual competitive scenario so you know what you're grabbing, pay attention to how much you're banishing, things like that. So I'm going to ask for an undo because the correct grab here is Cataclysm. It's not even a question. So we're going to do X equals 1. Grab Cataclysm. Pretty self-explanatory. And now we get to play out the whole turn. So 4, 7, now 8, so 12. And this is 4 lethal. They can give equipment block. They don't want to. That's okay. And now we have none in soul, and this is where things get a little bit awkward. We're gonna break Warband here to try to get something over the top because we can go 3 and okay. So they just surrender. I don't know why they just surrendered. They had enough equipment block. This game wasn't over yet. I had 20 cards left deck with very low damage density, and none in soul. So like they could have very easily won this game if they just but they would have to block awkwardly. I guess this turn I think they win. They don't win, but they get to live, and then I don't know what their arsenal is. Maybe I look at it. It's the Slither. We do know what the arsenal is, but I look at the top of my deck. Do I look at the top deck of my deck? Yeah, I'm drawing V. So if I would have broke Warband like I did, for probably pitching Lance, charging Lance, drawing V, giving go again, and then just throwing 4. So it's fucking 4 cards 7. Awful. We get one extra in soul. That's why we do it. But they're at 3, so we can afford to have bad turns like that this late in the game, and we would have been fine. The V turn wouldn't have been great. Yeah, it would have been pretty bad actually. That's okay. We would have actually no, it would have been fine. It would have been pitch E-Strike, play V, charge Courage, charge Steel Shield, yada yada. But either way, I think that would have been fine. And we're looking at their deck just to see it. And it seems fairly bog standard. Just, it's the pile. Someone probably just trying the deck. Don't know why they're just trying the deck in this cube. But yeah, either way, there is that for today. Well, there is that game. So that is game 3. So I guess we'll go into the what we will learn section here in a moment. All right, so what did we learn today? We learned some things. So those are 3 wins. I'm going to try to show losses in the future. I just recorded 3 games for this one. I will say they weren't the greatest of players. I would probably give them average. Probably your average flesh and blood player there. Not someone that's trying to win a pro tour, but someone that you'll probably see at your local armory, testing some decks, really wanting to just have fun playing the game. I would say that's what cover those 3 players, which is fine. Totally fine. This we can expect at Battle Hardened level events, in my opinion. You're not going to expect the top players at Battle Hardens. Calling day ones, that's the players you're going to see as well. So winning those there, wonderful. Very wonderful. So what do we learn? How do we learn? Value. Value. It's the name of the game. We really want to outvalue our opponents through whether it be blocking, realizing when to block, when not to block, when to push, when to force damage, things like that. And really pay attention to how we're getting value, which is why I was describing every play with the Lumina. We're getting 5 value off this 4. It's 4 card 20 because we set up this turn by gaining soul earlier and things like that. Very wonderful things. That's why getting free soul is so important through cards like Illuminate, cards like Lumina. Why Lumina is such a powerful card, because it sets up these explosive turns that just slow a snowball into the enemy into existence, your opponent into existence. So big. Other thing we learned today, make sure you always have a charge card on hand. I made a misplay where I didn't have one, but hey, it still got rewarded. That gave it to me. But either way, always have a charge card ready to go, so in case you do break, you can miss. And I think the other thing, Warband's very strong, in my opinion, over Hog. I think there's ways to build decks that Hog is better maybe than Warband, but with the way that power works and how you have to push damage in some respect against these certain heroes, Warband just makes sure that you don't lose tempo. And tempo is the name of the game when it comes to Boltyn. We decide when we want tempo. We decide when we want to lose tempo. We really don't want our opponent to make that decision for us. So when our opponent blocks out, we need to be able to keep pushing. So we need to keep punishing them for not blocking. Because a lot of times, as you saw in early games, people were not blocking. And we were just being able to accumulate a lot of value over the course of the game to where they had to block. And then we just got to keep going. You really need to set up those turns. Warband's powerful in that respect. I'm sure in the future you'll see games where I play Hog, and you're going to be like, wow, that card's crazy, because it is. The card's insane. Both the cards are really good. Don't block Vs. I guess for everyone watching this video that isn't a Boltyn expert, just don't block Vs. I think it's pretty simple as that. Really don't know what else to say about that, so just don't block Vs. Don't block vanilla damage. And I think the biggest thing we learned here today is count your soul. Pay attention. Count your soul and pay attention to everything your opponent's doing. When you're counting your soul and paying attention, is that you won't hold on to extra cards. That's the big thing in Boltyn. You need to be using everything. You can't just. I mean, that's any deck in Fab. You can't just hold on and wait. You can sometimes. It just depends on the matchup. But most of the time, like, if you're like, oh, I have a V Bolting Blade, I'm throwing 10 damage, I just want Arsenal V and hold on to the Bolting Blade, that's fine. That's okay. But most matchups, you can't really do that. You got to be making sure you block 3. That's, like, the biggest benefit to every card in Boltyn is a block 3 besides Steel Hand and Spirit. So make sure you're using straight value and just thinking about the whole board state if you want to improve at Boltyn. Either way, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully this... if for all the Milbers out there, you got some insight on how to play against certain heroes and how things. I'll try to do this more in the future. But for now, this list is linked below. No Sideboard guide, as I probably said earlier. With that, good luck everyone in their ProQuest coming up. I'm sure I'll post a few more Boltyn tech and just examples of how to play certain matchups. With that in mind, this is Flame Talk 3, Alex Tyler. You know how it is. And have a good one.